This is James Holder, Frightful TV, in association with Matt Gym My Bar. With me I've got Jumbo, aka coach, trainer, cutman, matchroom extraordinaire. How are you, mate?
Very well, thank you, James.
Good. I hope you don't mind. I just thought I'd get you on, Jumbo. I always bump into you. I always have a good chat about boxing, but I never get time to have a chat with you where you're always busy running about. So I thought, well, we've got a couple of minutes. Just
we've done some miles up and down the motorway together on the way back from shows, that's for sure.
I know, but it's always pitch black and I ain't got good enough lighting to talk while we drive.
Not only that, I'm trying to concentrate on the road and not concentrate on what we're saying.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah. I appreciate it, thank you.
Wiping us all out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's happening? Obviously we're in Manchester for CROLLA BARROSO.
Big fight tomorrow.
Big fight. Anthony defending his WBA lightweight, his WBA crown at 135. Big fight for Anthony.
I think this is going to be a really good fight. I really do. I really fancy it. I think Anthony showed last time out how strong he can be and how clever he can be with the stoppage. I think people were thinking it was going to be a tough fight. This one definitely is. I fancy Anthony, I really do. He's such a lovely lad, and I fancy him to win late on.
Big weekend for boxing. Obviously you've got Derek Chisora in action out in Germany against Pulev.
That's a tough fight, isn't it?
Tough fight for Chisora. I see Chisora being victorious. I don't know about you. How do you see it playing out?
I don't know. I just think Pulev has that little bit of power. You know, for a British fight, I wish Derek all the best, but I really think it's a good close fight.
Yeah. Across the pond, Saul Canelo Alvarez taking on Amir Khan. Massive fight for Amir Khan. He's chased these marquee fighters for a number of years. What chances do you give Amir Khan coming into this?
I am an Alvarez fan. I really am, and I think he's going to be massive after the weigh-in. I think he'll go into that ring probably 16, 18 pound heavier. I fancy Alvarez on points. I do. Interesting
point Eddie Earn made about the rehydration clause. There's no rehydration clause, so it seems quite interesting to see how big Canelo's actually going to come in at.
Yeah, it's not like the IBF, you have to be 10 pounds. I mean, we know with Chavez sometimes when he fought Junior, he came in massive, didn't he? And I think that will be a telling factor. I really do.
I've got to say, I saw you in Cleverly's corner when Cleverly went out to face Forfana. What was you doing in the corner that night? What was you up to?
I was working.
Yeah, I know that, but what was you actually doing?
Nathan asked me a few fights before that to do his hands and work his cuts, and I did. And he said to me, like, we win this one, we get a good fight, I want you with me. And Nathan and Darren, lovely people. They took me to Chicago, which was lovely. Done his hands, done his cuts. Unfortunately, the nose got broke. He was in the fight and winning it up until the 6th.
Great fight, I've got to say.
Brilliant fight. That's not far, he was a tough kid.
Tough.
But I actually thought if he hadn't broke his nose, I think Darren would have gone on to, Nathan would have gone on to win it. I really do. I hope he gets something soon and then maybe get Bramer.
Yeah. I mean, you must be doing something right when you've got former world champions flying you out to America to wrap their hands, because surely there must be people in America who can wrap hands, so yeah, it's a huge compliment really, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think it is, and it's nice to be appreciated like that. Darren and Nathan held their hands up and said, you will be with us. And to their word, they took me, and they've said that if there's anything else comes up, I'll get that as well.
Is there any other sort of lads that you do regularly?
I get all sorts of bits and pieces thrown in, you know, late on when people turn up with no one.
Yeah.
But obviously, doing a little bit with Oliver Harrison, he's asked me to go to Bilbao with Denton for sale in June, so that's good. But you know, when you are just underneath the cuff of all the major men like Mick and that.
Mick the Cut.
Mick the Cut, listen, you know, you can't take nothing away from him. He's a top guy and he's a great cut man. Yeah. But I learnt from the legend now, Gavin, Bethpage, New York, top man, and he's put me in good stead. I'm still young, I'm only 56.
You're young in comparison to the other cut men. I mean, Frank Hopkins has got to be in his early 90s.
He won't appreciate that, but Frank's another great man, isn't he?
Mick as well, he's got to be touching early 60s, isn't he?
Yeah, so. But listen, you know, I'm still young, so another 20 years, 25 years, I can still walk up them steps, still put the pressure on the eye if it gets going. In this game, you can go on as long as you want to go on.
You have to be a mature cutman. I don't think many people trust a young cutman. Every cutman I see, by maybe one or two, is very experienced in boxing in one way or another.
Listen, you have to do your apprenticeship and it takes time. I'm only in the last 2 or 3 years getting more and more work, and I've been doing it since '96.
So if I was to like cut myself, how long do you reckon it take to stop the bleeding then?
Depends how deep it is and where it is.
I ain't going to cut myself too deep, John. I was talking like a paper cut, you know what I mean?
Every cut's different. Paper cuts, like, you know, when you shave, they can bleed and bleed and bleed.
Yeah.
So it varies on where it is and what it is. But
so as if you're sort of there, I don't mean to pry too much, but do you get paid if they get cut, or is it a case of you have to wait for the cut to happen?
Some cut men are different. Some set a fee, and if they get cut and they have to do a job, they get more.
Okay.
Me, I just set a price, and it all comes in with it.
Fantastic.
That's one price, and if they want the hands, they can have it. If they don't, doesn't matter.
That's fantastic. Well, listen, I appreciate you explaining.
I appreciate you giving me the chance, because it's nice for some of the people who are not seen as much, and in the background, to get the chance.
But it's not that not all of them want to appear on the camera. Like, I've chased you a couple of times. You're always reluctant.
I've always been avoiding because it's dark in the car on the way home.
You're always reluctant to do it, and some of the other fellas are like, don't really like the limelight.
I'm not one to be up front and that. You know, I love what I do. I really get a lot out of seeing young kids come through from 6, 7 year olds like we got in the gym, go into the amateurs, maybe go amateur and do well, or turn over, or go on the white collar scene. A lot of them do that, you know, so we have trainers that work with them. And listen, some of my lads in the gym fight on Ross Minter's Queensbury Boxing
On the
League.
Queensbury shows, yeah?
Queensbury shows, and they're really well organised, great outfit, and the boys love it.
A couple of weeks ago, you dropped me home. We got home at about 6 in the morning, me and you. We got back, just the two of us, and Lawrence. We dropped Lawrence off first, the photographer. You then went from there to the gym, opened up the gym and done a session with the lads. How do you manage to do that after sort of being awake all night and then having to go and train lads at 6 in the morning?
Second nature to me, James. Second nature. Long hours, short sleep, I thrive on it. My missus ain't overly pleased with it.
No, I'll bet.
Hey, listen, if I'm doing a job, I want to do it properly. If them boys are in the gym to spar at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, or some want to get in and do some certain stuff, I want to be there. I want to see. I want to make sure that they're doing it right. You can't see what they're doing if you're not there.
Do you pick up a lot of sort of tips and techniques of some of the other trainers? I mean, you're working in and around a big sort of pool of knowledge.
I honestly say that you can pick up something every time you go to a show. There's always something. You can never stop learning in this game. Gospel honest truth. Some of it you're taking and use, some of it you don't think's right for you. But you're always learning. Always. There's always new stuff coming out, or new ideas, you know? You can never stop learning.
On that note, I've got to get down to Kieran Farrell's gym in Haywood. I'm going to go spend a bit of time with Kieran.
Thank you for your time, James.
Thank you for giving us a bit of your time, John. I'll catch you soon, mate. Thank you.